One of the most important functions that your soil plays in your grazing business is the ability to capture rainfall and infiltrate that water into your topsoil. This results in more soil moisture and more pasture growth longer into the dry periods. In this video, we're going to show you a simple way to assess that infiltration rate of rain into your soil. To do your infiltration test on your monitoring site, you need some simple equipment. The first thing you'll need is an infiltrometer, also known as a bit of PVC pipe. And you'll notice that the bottom of that PVC pipe's been beveled, which makes it easier to knock into the ground. You can use steel rings or steel infiltrometers, make it up yourself, and steel is actually a better bit of gear to use because it's heavier, more durable, and seals the ground a bit better. I'll also need a ruler, which goes into the ring to help us measure how much water is going into the soil, and some secateurs or scissors, which help us just cut down the grass in the site where we're going to do the sampling. I'll need a stopwatch and a heavy bit of wood just to help us knock that infiltrometer into the ground, along with something heavy like a dolly or a sledgehammer just to knock it in there. And it's a good idea to have your RASH manual which guides you through this process that we're about to do. And finally, I need 10-20 litres of water that I use to do the test with. The first step in doing the infiltration test is to identify your monitoring site. Once you've got your site identified, it's a good idea to clear back the vegetation just down close to ground level without going to bare soil. Once you've cut it down, you get your ring. We now want to make sure that that ring's sealed into the ground around the bottom so it's ready to pour the water in. We place a heavy block on it that we can now tap into the ground with a heavy weight, either a sledgehammer or post hole driver. The next step is to get your ruler and just poke it down the side of the ring so you can see the level of the water as you pour it in. Now we're ready to do the test, and the test involves getting a good amount of water. So ideally you need half a litre to a litre. We now need to pour that water into the infiltrometer up to near the top. It doesn't matter what level you pour it to, as long as you make a note of the level that it is when you fill it. I'm going to now time how quickly that goes into the soil over 6 minutes. Once the 6 minutes is up, then we can see how far down the water's gone against the ruler in our infiltration ring. So looking down here, it's gone down about 11 millimetres over 6 minutes. If we multiply that 6 minutes by 10, we get 60 minutes or 1 hour. So we can multiply 11 by 10, and that gives us 110 millimetres per hour infiltration rate. And that's the way we measure our infiltration rate across the different land types, or in this case at our monitoring point. The water infiltration test is a really simple yet powerful monitoring tool for your soil and landscape health. The more infiltration you have per hour, the more effective rainfall you have for pasture growth. It also minimises surface runoff and erosion potential down creeks, gullies and streams, and minimises the risk of sediment loss from your place. You'll find if you do the infiltration test across different areas of your landscape, the different land types, the infiltration rates will be different. So what you need to do on your place is start to benchmark in your poorer areas and your better condition areas to set yourself some benchmarks that are appropriate. But as a general rule, the more infiltration you get per hour, the more healthy your landscape will be in the longer term.